Having the right diet makes you healthier, more productive, happier, and smarter. I think a good diet is one that optimizes for your health first, then for the gym, so in building muscle and losing fat. And very importantly too, that optimizes for your work quality. So in this video, I'll tell you what my diet is like and how I think yours should be like. I'll give you one piece of advice per aspect of the diet. So one for health, one for the gym, and one for work. For health, the only thing you need to do is to stop processed foods. Processed foods are undoubtedly bad because they've been put on weird chemicals on them so that they taste good, but they've also been optimized to cost the least possible to the companies, which means that basically they're just sub-foods, worse enough foods. And the impact on health, we don't really know what it'll be, but what's sure is that in a few years' time, 10 years, 20 years, the people who have been eating a lot of processed foods will definitely have worse health than us who have been eating whole foods, undoubtedly. And the thing is, whole foods also aren't very healthy right now because there are a lot of chemicals on them too and of weird stuff which I don't even understand. And ideally, you should be getting your food from a farmer, organic, that makes it for you. But of course, it's very hard. I can't even access that myself, or at least you know. Okay, we'll move on to the gym advice. Well, it's very simple. Everyone knows it. To optimize for building muscle and losing fat, you should eat a high protein diet because it optimizes for the muscle protein synthesis, and you need protein to build muscle basically because otherwise it won't get built. And high protein diet also makes you feel full more, so you can lose fat much easier. And when you're bulking, same, eating protein is just much healthier. And the thing is, proteins are just overall better than any other nutriment. High protein can come from eggs, from all meats basically. They're the best source for health and for gym and for work, which is why I believe that's mostly what I eat. To optimize for work, you should limit carbs and maybe try out intermittent fasting. Carbs, I've been eating carbs for most of my life and I didn't really know it, but I've been noticing it recently. Carbs, because I know science now, carbs, when eaten, spike your insulin. Insulin is the hormone that makes you feel full. It makes you feel like you want to rest. Which is why when you eat a big bowl of rice, you don't really want to work anymore. You just want to go to sleep. And this feeling is actually coming from carbs. Same when you've eaten carbs, your brain is kind of foggy. You can't really think very clearly. This is all carbs. Carbs are not evil, of course, but they're not great to optimize our brain ability. This is why most people that advise on for your work quality advise carnivore diet. Now, I'm not on carnivore diet because I don't know enough about it yet. I'm not sure if it's really healthy as a teenager and all, so I'm not really gonna try that yet. But what I'm doing is more like carnivore with fruits and vegetables because I think it's much better. That way, I have much less of the carbs impact. I'm less tired, my brain works better, I can work for hours long and it feels good. But really, carbs, in terms of work, of brain capacity, are bad. Like, really bad. They slow you down, they make you want to rest. Of course, here, they don't impact your health. They impact your human ability to work. Now, intermittent fasting is then, as you can understand, a great advice because you won't eat when you wake up and you can have a good amount of work done without having the negative impact of carbs or of food overall. Because if you're going to do some heavy work, if you're full, you don't really want to work, right? This is where intermittent fasting comes in. And you'll see that it's only a matter of habit because at first I had a lot of trouble fasting and then it became easy. I could fast for 7 hours in the morning and start eating at like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. with no problem. So it's really a matter of habit and you might get used to it and you might like it. Because you'll see that when you're fasted, you're much more powerful. you can do much more. Whereas when you've just eaten, honestly, you're powerless. Okay, so I'll recap over the three big advices. For your health, you should stop eating processed foods and eat as much whole foods as you can. For the gym, you must eat high protein. For work, you should limit carbs and try out intermittent fasting. If we mix these three advices together, we get a diet that's composed mostly of whole foods, that is high protein, and that limits carbs. What it gets is the carnivore and fruits, vegetables diet. Basically, you just eat a lot of meat, of eggs, and with that, you eat vegetables, fruits. You can eat some rice and pasta sometimes, but it's not ideal. Maybe in the evening sometimes if you want, but it's not ideal. That way, you eat whole foods, you eat high protein, you limit carbs. And then if you really want to try it out, you can eat only meat, the carnivore diet, which is, well, it seems really powerful in terms of workability, but I'm not yet ready for that. It's not I'm not ready, it's more like I want to wait a bit more. When I started at the gym, I studied diet a lot. I learned about what carbs are, complex carbs, protein, fats, how I should all balance it. It was very interesting, really. And from this, these are the biggest advice I got, the essential things. When I learned about this, I thought that whey protein was good. I was sure of it, and I now think that it's actually processed food, and even weirder, it's much more chemical and industrial, which is why I now think that it's not really good. But as a portion of your processed foods, you could try that, but I don't advise it anymore. The last thing I'd like to say is that if you're ever feeling like things are too hard, remember that it isn't supposed to be easy. Otherwise, everyone would be doing it. What you're doing is much harder because you want higher, better rewards. Alright then, see you in the next one.